I was born 5 months early in Fort Lauderdale, a tiny life sealed in an incubator. The doctor said I shouldn't have made it. My mom couldn't touch me for the first 2 weeks. The clear box saved my body, but it left my spirit exposed. I grew up in a loving Puerto Rican household in Broward County, middle class, traditional, full of care. But faith wasn't the center. Mom was Catholic, Dad was absent from faith, and the house felt spiritually hollow. I did the rituals, baptism, communion, confirmation, more for her than belief. Even with love, I felt rejection, like an outsider looking in. Not enough. I pushed myself to prove my worth. With no true compass, I tried to fill the void with noise, danger, and distraction. I had cheated death at birth and kept testing that miracle. I was loved, but not known. The hollow space was growing. In school, I lived to please my mom. I got the grades by any means necessary. Smart enough to learn, clever enough to cheat. I played ball and wore the mask of a model student. But outside, I was someone else entirely. Where I was from, to be a man, you had to drink, smoke, fight, and chase women. Stealing was less about money and more about acceptance. I ran with a rough crowd, pushing the boundaries of the law. I juggled identities, torn between who I was supposed to be and who I thought I needed to be. Each lie and drunken night was a step deeper into danger, away from the boy my mother prayed for. I kept the world separate and lived under constant tension. I chased belonging, only to lose myself. Survival by pretending, that was my normal. At 18, I left for UCF. It wasn't a fresh start. It was an escalation. I kept selling drugs for money and status and lived in the clubs. I found a toxic fuel, Adderall to grind, alcohol to crash. I thought I'd hacked life, but I was poisoning myself, body and soul. Then came the sleep paralysis, the first hints of a spiritual war. Knocking from inside my closet, a presence pressing into my mind. Terrified, I prayed the Lord's Prayer I barely believed. A brilliant light chased the darkness away. I had no framework, but I knew evil attacked, and something good saved me. I didn't understand God or demons. I just knew both were real. The blur of late nights had a new shadow. A prayer I barely knew was the only thing that worked. At 20, my friend and I moved to New York with no plan, sleeping in the truck until we could stand. I became a club bouncer and fell back into crime. I robbed, schemed, and chased adrenaline. Friends were jailed or killed. Somehow, I never got caught or hurt. I called it luck and thought I was invincible. Then a worse attack, pinned to my bed, a demonic presence trying to enter me. I prayed the Lord's Prayer in my mind with all I had. The light returned, but this time it stayed. For what felt like 20 minutes, a gentle, authoritative voice warned me, change or die or end up in prison. I wept. It was a direct call to change. My time on the edge was running out. That's when the Navy found me. A recruiter saw potential I couldn't see. I dodged his calls and made excuses. He refused to give up. He even took over my lease and bought my TVs. Out of excuses, I signed and surrendered to a new direction. Boot camp broke me down, physically, mentally, constantly. There were moments I thought I wouldn't make it. By grace, I graduated and became a United States Navy sailor. I trained as an air traffic controller. Precision, focus, a clear head. For 7 years, I traveled the world and served. On the surface, it looked like I'd changed, but the double life continued. In every port I found the party. Drinking, women, reckless behavior. A new environment couldn't change my heart. Something deeper needed to break. A glimmer of hope was coming. On Crete, I was still partying when LSD cracked something open in me. It wasn't euphoria. It was a terrifying spiritual encounter. It pushed me to seek meaning, God, enlightenment, truth, anything real. One evening I broke on the sand. If anyone is out there, show me. I need answers. A clear thought answered, the same presence as before.
I'm gonna show you.
Something real had heard me. A promise had been made. For the first time in years, I felt hope. But old habits die hard. After the Navy, I found Humboldt, America's marijuana heartland, and struck gold. With logistics skills, I built a distribution network, moving pounds through the mail. Money poured in, hundreds of thousands a month, cars, houses, investments. I had wealth, power, freedom. But the victory was hollow. Every knock, every car set off panic. I became a prisoner in my own homes. Surrounded by wealth, my spirit was bankrupt. The void from childhood only grew deeper. I climbed my mountain and found nothing but a lonely, dangerous height. When a big shipment vanished, pride demanded answers. Desperate, I turned to voodoo and mediums. In Haiti, a priest spoke true details of my past. That truth was the hook. I paid and participated, chasing spirits for control. I went deeper. Psychics, mediums, spiritualists, finding fear and lies. Inside me a battle raged. The light that saved me versus darkness promising power. I was spared death in prison. My friends weren't. A voice had promised to show me. Grace kept pursuing me. At that voodoo spot I even saw Beyoncé's sister walk in. That was my wake-up call. The darkness was real and it wanted me. Terrified, I prayed, "Our Father in heaven, deliver me from evil. Jesus, have mercy on me. Create in me a clean heart, O God. Renew a right spirit within me." God confronted me. I repented. I threw out candles, charms, crystals, every piece of that life. I cut ties, poured out bottles, and chose the light. Peace replaced paranoia. Grace broke the chains. I'm not perfect, but I'm free. God changed my whole life. Thanks for listening. God bless you. Please subscribe, comment, like, and share. Have a blessed day.